I started out working with the landscape, the topography, with the woods, with the trails, but increasingly water is inspiring my work. I use a material Baltic birch that is from the Baltic region in Russia. And so if you can see in this slide, there's this grain mark, and I call it the figure in the surface of the wood. And this figure, when I was looking at this material, I was like, wait a second, there's the topography right there. I don't have to go to USGS maps. I can use these shapes. Not only that, but that brings me to the heart of the tree, to the heart of the wood, where it is grown. And I don't know if you know how plywood is manufactured. There are a number of ways, but one way is they actually take the tree and they put it on a large spindle, and there's a very long, sharp blade, 12 feet long, that shaves off these sheets of what we might call veneer, and then they get layered up at 90 degrees to create the plywood. So when you prepare the veneer this way, as you go around the circumference of the tree, the figure repeats itself. So when you look at these works that are in the show this time, when I was preparing them, I had a 4x8 sheet piece of Baltic birch, and I was looking at the repeat of the figure, and I'm like, I got out my measuring tape and I measured from this to that spot where it repeated, and it was 32 inches. And all of a sudden I realized 32 inches. That's about like this. And all of a sudden I was hugging that tree that grew in the Baltic that was now becoming a part of my work. So the heart of the wood is part of where the figure, the form, comes from. And that led to this series that I call Inner Topographies. And in these works, I am using the figure of the wood to make my three-dimensional shapes. And I'm allowing myself more to play with the fluidity of paint, with light and color. And so these are just more coming from here. Not so much from here, but right from here. My inner topographies.